Hello children, today we are going to continue with the subject science. Lesson number 1, Reproduction in Plants, Part 2. Before that, let us do some revision. The points of revision are: the growing of a plant from seed is called germination. Remember that? We studied germination. The growing of a plant from seed is called germination. Plants grow from seeds, different parts of a plant or spores. So there are 3 ways in which plants grow: from the seeds, or different parts of a plant, or spores. A seed needs air, warmth, and water to germinate. Air to breathe, warmth to get activated, and water which softens the seed from inside and outside so that the baby plant can push and break open the seed coat and develop into a plant. Different plants need different types of soil, mineral, moisture, climate, and temperature to grow. For better understanding, refer to the part 1 of the video uploaded on YouTube, the link of which is given below, and also in the description box for your convenience. Okay, the link is this. So you have to look for this link on the description box. When you see it in the description box, just click on it and you will be directed to the first part of the video. Okay, now we are going to start looking at the second part. Crops. What are crops? Some kind of plants, when grown at a particular region at a particular time, are known as crops. Remember that. Some kind of plants, when grown at a particular region at a particular time, are known as crops. Different types of crops need different conditions to grow, like the type of soil, mineral, climate, and temperature, etc. There are some crops that grow according to the seasons, some according to the condition of the soil. Okay, there we are. Crops on the basis of seasons. On the basis of season, we categorize crops into 2. They are Rabi crops. Crops grown in winter are called Rabi crops. Always remember, crops grown in winter is called Rabi crops. For example, wheat, lentils, mustard and gram. ठंड के मौसम में जो फसल उगती है उसे रबी फसल कहते हैं. Then we have, that is an example of the Rabi crops, so wheat and the mustards. Okay. Then we have the Kharif crops. Crops grown in summer are called Kharif crops. For example, rice, maize, jawar and bajra. Remember that. Crops that are grown in summer, गर्मी के मौसम में जो फसल उगती है उसे खरीफ फसल कहते हैं. Examples are rice, maize, jawar and bajra. There you have the picture of the kharif crops, bajra and rice. Okay. Now crops on the basis of soil conditions. On the basis of the soil conditions, the crops can be categorized into 2. Wet or moist conditions. Tea plants grow in moist conditions. Therefore, their plantations are seen in hilly areas where it rains a lot. थोड़ी सी नमी वाले वातावरण में चाय के बागान उगते हैं, चाय का बागान लगाया जाता है. So tea plants grow in moist conditions. That is the picture of a tea garden, which is on the top of a hill. Dry conditions. Plants like date palm can grow in very dry conditions. खजूर के झाड़ सूखे वातावरण में उगते हैं. Plants like date palm can grow in very dry conditions. There you have the picture of a date palm. Now growing vegetables. Vegetables, plants need care and regular supply of water. Vegetables means sabziyan. they need a lot of care and regular supply of water. Many of them grow throughout the year. Vegetables like cauliflower, matlab full gobi, carrot, green pea and radish grow well in winter. Remember that. Cauliflower, carrot, green pea and radish grow well in winter. Vegetables like gourd, brinjal, lady's finger are mostly grown in summer. So there are some vegetables that are grown in winter and there are some vegetables that are grown in summer. And there you have the example of a vegetable field. Okay. Types of soil for different crops. Different plants need different types of soil. There are 3 types of soil. They are clay soil. For example, rice needs clay soil. Sandy soil. Wheat, jawar, bajra and coconut need sandy soil. Black soil. Cotton needs black soil. Okay, these are the 3 types of soil. Clay soil, sandy soil and black soil. Now we are going to look at agriculture. What is agriculture? This is a very important definition from the point of view of examination. Remember that. The practice of growing crops on a large scale for food or other purposes is termed as agriculture. The steps in agriculture are as follows. Plowing, preparing of ground by loosening the soil. So we prepare the ground by plowing it. हल चलाकर हम जमीन को खोद लेते हैं, तो उसे जोतना कहते हैं ना. Plowing, preparation of ground by loosening of soil. Weeding, this means removing unwanted plants. जो भी बेकार के पौधे उसमें लगे हुए हैं उसे हम निकाल देते हैं, उसे weeding कहते हैं. Sowing, healthy and ripe seeds are selected for sowing. बहुत ही अच्छे किस्म के और अच्छे नस्ल के बीज हमने लेकर उसे बो देते हैं. That is called sowing. Watering, it is also called irrigation. Remember the word irrigation. Whenever you hear the word irrigation, it simply has to do with supplying water to the crops. Crops need the right amount of water at the right time. Remember that. Fertilizing, to add to the fertilizing capacity of the soil, more manure is used to increase its fertility. Okay, the soil has a capacity of fertilization, but more manure is added to increase its fertility. Okay, so now let us have some points to remember. What are the points to remember in summary? Crops grown in winter are called Rabi crops. Crops grown in summer are called Kharif crops. Remember that. And practice of growing crop is called agriculture. These are the 3 important things that you should remember, especially in this part of the video. Now let us come to do some exercise. Tick the correct answers. Which one of the following does not act as an agent for dispersal? Can you tell me? Wind, water, sunlight. मतलब ये कि बीज के बिखराव के लिए इनमें से कौन सी चीजें काम में नहीं आती, कौन सा ऑप्शन काम में नहीं आता है? विंड नहीं, विंड तो काम में आता है. वाटर, वाटर भी काम में आता है. ओके, देन द आंसर इज sunlight. Okay, it does not act as an agent for dispersal. Second one, the mushroom reproduce through what? There we have not roots, not stems, but pores. Okay, always remember that. An example of reproduction from stem is it potato? Is it a pea? Or is it a mushroom? No, it is not pea and mushroom. It is potato. Remember that. We must use a rake for What do we use rake for? We use rake for weeding, not for sowing and plowing. Which of these is a rabi crop? Okay, wheat is a rabi crop. Rice and maize, they are all kharif. Now let us look at fill in the blanks. First one is fruits contain dash inside them, seed inside them. Second one is seeds having only one seed leaf are called dash seed, monocot seed. The growing of a plant from a seed is called germination. Right. The fourth one, the dash fruits have a hard but light and waterproof covering, the coconut fruit. The soil is made more fertile by adding manure or dash to it. What is it? Fertilizer. Okay. Now let us do some true or false statements. Write T for true and F for false. Seeds of gram and beans have 2 seed leaves. Is it true? Oh yes, it is true. Warmth makes the seed active, does it? Yes, it makes the seed active. The statement is true. The seeds of madar are dispersed by water. What do you think? No. It's dispersed by wind. So F, false. Mushrooms reproduce through spores. It is true. Food grains would be stored in cold and damp places. Do you think it will survive? No, it needs dry and well ventilated places. Okay, so there we are. The answer is false. Now let us look at the question and answers. First question is, what is reproduction? Why is it important? The answer is, the characteristics of living being to produce their own kind is called reproduction. Remember, the characteristic of living beings to produce their own kind is called reproduction. It is important because it helps preserve living beings of their own kind for the subsequent generations. Always remember that, okay? And there we have. What is the difference between monocot and dicot seeds? Monocot seeds have only one seed leaf, whereas the dicot seeds have 2 seed leaves. This is the major difference. Monocot seeds have one seed leaf, whereas the dicot seeds have 2 seed leaves. What are the conditions required for germination? For the seeds to germinate. The growing of a plant from a seed is called germination. Okay, for germination, the seed needs good soil, rich in nutrients. That's the first requirement. Second, air to breathe. Third, warmth that makes the seed active. Fourth, water that softens the food inside, and seed coat so that the baby plant can break open and come out. Okay. Now draw the diagram. This is basically the part of the previous question, but I have put it as a separate question. Draw the diagram showing seed germination, and these are the diagrams that you are going to draw. Okay, that's the monocot, and this is a dicot seed. Okay, so you have to draw both of this definition. Okay, what kind of seeds are dispersed by wind? The seeds which are dispersed by wind are light and have hair or wings like maple, cotton, hiptage, madar, etc. Okay. Now, how does a potato plant reproduce? Potato is an underground stem. It has buds called eyes on them. Each eye can grow into a new plant. What is weeding? Removing of unwanted plants from the field is called weeding. Now let let us look at some homework. Okay? Complete the exercises. That is, take the correct answers, fill in the blanks, true or false, question and answers in your notebook neatly. And please take a picture of the same and send it to us through WhatsApp. Memorize all the questions and answers and the rest of the exercises thoroughly. Okay, you have to memorize all of that very thoroughly. Okay, so that's all, children, for now. It's goodbye and stay safe.